The Deer Hunter was released in 1978 and was directed by Michael Cimeno and stars Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, and Meryl Streep, and follows the story of three best friends that go to Vietnam with the intentions of killing as many Vietnamese as they possibly can to help in the war effort. However, their naive look at the war is challenged when they are in prison, and all eventually escape, and they are affected by the war in different ways as they return to their home or don't return at all. Guys, I am so happy to finally talk about this movie. The Deer Hunter is one of my absolute favorite films of all time. It is a top 5 favorite film. That is how much I love this film. And I want to thank my friend Jerome Latimer for recommending that I talk about this movie on the channel. I've been wanting to do this for some time, and now is that time. It being my 100th classic review here on the channel, it just makes sense to talk about something as special as this. Now, I first heard of The Deer Hunter from my dad, who would often say that it was his favorite film of all time. He saw it back when it was originally in theaters, and he just would tell me how much he loved this film. And I think I caught it on cable at one point when I was really young, but like I really wasn't paying attention to it because, well, for one, cable, and also was like right in the middle of the entire movie, so I didn't pay attention to it. It wasn't until just a couple years ago that I finally decided to buy The Deer Hunter, as well as Michael Cimeno's film that he would make after this, Heaven's Gate. And watching this movie right off the bat, as soon as I put it in and as soon as I finished it, I wanted to rewatch it. I had my mom watch it, my dad came home, we watched it again. I watched it over and over. I just adored this film so much, from a filmmaking level to just how it made me feel emotionally. This is one of, if not the best Vietnam movie I have ever seen. And there are plenty of Vietnam movies out there that really show the effect of the war and how it was, such as the movies directed by Oliver Stone, but this one does something a little bit different that I absolutely love it for. It's not so much about Vietnam, because we spend so little time in Vietnam in this movie, this 3-hour movie. The first half of this movie is all the stuff that happens before our characters go to Vietnam. The majority of the rest of the movie is after they leave Vietnam. And I think it's really good at showing the effects of Vietnam and how it affected the people that were in it. And I think that is absolutely wonderful. I love the first hour of this film, where our main characters are more or less just attending a wedding. And that's the entire first hour of the film, and it shows how carefree and naive our characters are. Like, we're in this very special, holy moment in these characters' lives. They're having fun, they're enjoying themselves, and then Vietnam comes and basically tears their lives apart and changes it forever. Characters get wounded, characters lose their sanity, and characters return home and just feel a little bit more empty. I love this contrast between the beginning of the film and the end of the film, especially with the character of Michael, played by Robert De Niro, who, you know, we start out with this carefree world at the beginning, and everybody's laughing and having fun, and then everybody's still having fun in the second half of the movie, but Michael's just not. He feels empty. He doesn't feel like he's even present through any of it. And it's really well done. I also think the first act of this film, with the whole wedding, really sets what type of film this is. It is an epic. The wedding scene in particular reminded me a lot of The Godfather, and I think that Michael Cimeno was trying to make The Godfather of the war film, and I think he really did succeed in this. I like being able to learn about these characters through just their everyday life. We see who they are and then what they become at the end of the film. But my favorite part of this first act of the film is during the wedding. There's this soldier that comes in, this officer, and he goes to the bar, and Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken are talking about how, they're going to go to Vietnam very soon and everything. They can't wait to kill as many Vietnamese as they possibly can. And they're just very naive about the war. And the officer just says, F it. Just F it. It's not worth it. And I think that scene really changes the entire tone of the rest of this first act, as we see it from, like, oh yes, they're going to Vietnam, that they've basically are going to go to their doom. And it's really, really good. I love the ending of the first act, more or less, when all their friends are together at the bar, just kind of sitting around drinking, not talking. Somebody's playing the piano, and then it cuts to Vietnam. It's like this is the last moment, the last hurrah, before they realize that a lot of them are going off to war. And it's really good. But the part of the movie that everybody is going to be talking about is the Vietnam section, with the wonderful, or should I say horrific, portrayal of the Russian roulette scene. Now, this is obviously not historically accurate. In fact, there's probably a chance that none of this ever really happened. But I think the scene in particular really is a demonstration of what the Vietnam War was like. It's a metaphor for, young men taking a chance, and they're either going to live or they're going to die. And the Russian roulette scene is fantastic and has the best acting I have ever seen from Christopher Walken. No wonder he won a Academy Award for his performance in this movie. He is phenomenal, as he is slowly just losing his mind, losing his humanity, and losing his will to live in this one scene that means absolutely everything. This is the turning point of the film, and it is horrific to watch. It is one of the greatest scenes I have ever seen put to film, bar none. But honestly, my favorite stuff in the film is actually after that scene. Particularly with the stuff we see with how these characters are affected, such as Christopher Walken's character. He's so taken aback by all this that he can't even remember his mother's date of birth. And it's really heartbreaking. It is beautifully done. We see that one character has lost his legs forever. And we also see that Robert De Niro's character has just lost that happy-go-lucky feeling that he had in the beginning of that film. And it's really well done, but the best stuff is when Robert De Niro comes home to see how he just doesn't fit into this world anymore. He feels empty. He feels like a ghost walking through it. And this is how people felt coming back. People in Vietnam didn't come back as heroes. Or if they did, maybe some of them felt a little bit empty. Like what they saw was just so horrific that it forever changed them. And it does with this character. And it's just so well done. The ending of this film, the climax, the Russian roulette scene between Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken is so good, as Michael is trying to bring Nick home. It's so heartbreaking, and the very, very end of the film is just, you're so emotionally drained by that moment that you feel like you're in the same mindset of the characters as they sing God Bless America and the film closes. Some other things that I want to touch upon this film. This was the final film of John Cazale, who also was in The Godfather, playing Frito, and he was dying of cancer at this time, and he was actually dating Meryl Streep at the time, and it's just so wonderful that he got to be in this film because he's a very memorable part of this character that people really pick on and everything. But he's so much fun. He brings so much life. He's really funny, and it warms my heart that after his passing, Meryl Streep paid for his entire funeral expenses because, you know, she loved him that much. And this isn't having anything to do with the movie, but it's just something interesting that I absolutely love. I also love the music for this film. It is one of the most beautiful scores I have ever heard. It's instantly memorable. It's sorrowful. It's just absolutely stunning. It's operatic when it needs to be. It's subtle when it needs to be. And it really just lifts your soul like the entire movie does. Guys, I freaking love this film. It just gets me every time I watch it. Every time I watch it, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time again. I'm being reintroduced to these characters. I see new things every time I watch it. I'm just so engrossed in it. I think about the little details that are hidden throughout the film, its meanings, the motivations of the characters. There's always something to find in this film that I just genuinely just love. I'm so happy that it won Best Picture, won in the categories it did, because I think it really did deserve it. I just love this film. This is my favorite war film of all time. It's my favorite Vietnam film of all time. And a lot of that is due to its focus not necessarily on Vietnam, but the effects of Vietnam on the human soul. And it's just so compelling. And I definitely recommend it to anybody that has not seen it. So anyway, guys, with all that said, I'm going to give The Deer Hunter a 10 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. Thank you for watching me for 100 classic reviews. This has been just absolutely fantastic to do. And I'm going to take a little bit of a break from classic reviews for a little bit until I finally set up my whole new idea that I have for my channel. But thank you guys for watching. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next review.